Every day somewhere in the world, normal people risk their lives just getting from point A to point B. In far-off countries and isolated, forgotten villages, our camera crews follow the journeys of those brave enough to travel on the world's toughest, most dangerous, and deadliest roads. Buckle up for a hell ride. This is Deadliest Journeys. Kamina is a ghost station in the south of Congo. There has been no train service for 5 months, and now it's running again. The train left Lubumbashi, the nation's second largest city, 5 days ago, and no one knows when it will arrive. In Congo, it has to be said that's the way things work, or not. In this country, the train runs when it can. This particular train that everyone is waiting for has a surprising name, the Hirondelle, or the Swallow in English. Word of its arrival spreads like wildfire. And it's the so-called bush telegraph that has helped pass on the rumor. It's the cheapest train in Congo and stops at every station, much like an omnibus, and so it attracts huge crowds of passengers. Half of them are street vendors. And at every stop, even in the remotest villages, the station becomes an instant market. But there's not much time for selling. The train's already packed. And you need to be quick to get a seat. Clement has been riding this train for 20 years and knows the drill well.
Comme c'est barricadé avec des colis de certains passagers, c'est difficile d'accéder par la porte principale. Nous entrons par les côtés. C'est ici où il y a la toilette. Donc, tu ne sais pas y entrer. Il y a des colis, il y a aussi des clients à bord, à l'intérieur. On a vraiment des difficultés. Il y a des fois des gens qui vous font des besoins dans des pots, dans des sachets, alors ils jettent. C'est de cette façon-là que les gens se débrouillent.
People cram into whatever space they can find. Nearly 2,000 people altogether, 3 times the officially permitted capacity. For those who weren't able to find a place or who can't afford a ticket, there's always the roof.
C'est pourquoi l'habité on a tika là, na matrava na tali kolo pour ami débrouiller. C'est un voyage na biso ba congolais.
In the very heart of the continent, the Democratic Republic of Congo is the largest nation in Africa. The Hirondelle crosses half the country, from Lubumbashi, the capital of Katanga, to Lebo, and is the only link between the country's most remote villages. 1,600 kilometers across one of Africa's last wild frontiers. But in the Congo, any travel involves problems. The roads may be in a terrible state and the trains bursting at the seams, But nothing seems to dampen the spirits of these Congolese. They've learned to make do, whatever the circumstances, sometimes even at the risk of their lives. By train, bicycle, or on foot, the Congolese have little choice. The Hirondelle has been around for 50 years. The old engine was bought second-hand in South Africa. A relay of 10 train drivers is needed to cover the 1,600-kilometer-long journey. 63-year-old Mr. Malongo has one of the hardest parts of the trip. 120 trouble-ridden kilometers.
S'il n'y a pas de problème. Ouais, ouais. Dans 8 heures, 9 heures de temps, on peut arriver. 7h50, si on roulait bien. Dans les années 79-80, c'était bien. On faisait 4 heures. La voie est devenue très mauvaise. Le service d'entretien n'intervient pas comme il faut.
Mr. Malongo is the master on board and supplements his income by allowing 10 or so passengers to travel in the driver's cabin. It's as close to first class as it gets on the train. Back in second class, the challenge is to avoid stepping on someone as you try to move about the carriage. It's something Clément can't get used to.
Là, il n'y a pas de couchette. On passe nuit assis. Sur cette petite couchette, on pouvait s'y mettre à 3. On serait quand même aéré, mais plus on est à 5 à 6 d'un côté, de l'autre côté 5 ou 6. Alors avec 10 ou 12 personnes dans ces compartiments, les conditions de vie sont déplorables.
Everyone has his or her baggage, half a dozen each at least.
Il n'y a pas des endroits où on peut mettre les colis. C'est pourquoi on a mis les clous, alors on essaie d'exposer les colis par-ci par-là. Les plafonds sont troués. Alors pendant la saison des pluies, c'est presque chaque jour qu'il pleut. Alors nous avons difficile vraiment à vivre, à tenir.
This is the occasional miracle.
Ah, ngai moko na mwasi na ngai. Mwasi na ngai. La mwana si akoti mwana kaka na train. Potozo ke ntosela ndeni.
Mwana consolado. Ah, se consolado sona msala wewe.
La marche est si compliquée, surtout qu'il y a beaucoup de bagages, il y a beaucoup de colis. C'est pénible vraiment pour marcher.
The train seems full of booby traps.
Quand le train roule, des fois, ces butoirs ici, ça s'ouvre. Et quand ça se referme, ça peut facilement te couper les pieds. Soit quand ça s'ouvre à grande largeur, tu peux facilement tomber et tu perds facilement la vie.
Last year, these snares maimed several passengers. And those in third class risk their lives up here on the roof, as the train's movement could knock them off.
eza défendu na nko mpo toza mosabusa kosala te liwa wana ezalaka na mapeka na biso moko araye eza mabe araye ese ebebi yango nde ozoyoka basekusu wana wita nakoki koloba vraiment namoni badanger ebele bavago yango ekwei bato bakufi à peu près ganga mona ata 8 fois bon tobangaka te quand même des fois okoki komona baderema esalamaka kame nzambe abatalaka biso kaka.
The day before, this young man fell from the roof. By some miracle, he escaped unscathed, with just a cut on his cheek. His fellow travelers up here on third class have to remain alert. Lack of attention could be fatal. The danger comes not just from above, but also from the sides. Even at a moderate speed of 30 kilometers an hour, a tree branch can cut like a machete.
J'avais pris un arbre dans la joue. C'est vraiment dangereux de recevoir ça dans l'œil. Vous risquez d'être borgne.
Other forms of transport exist, but are hardly in any better condition. This track, which runs alongside the railway, is National Route 1, a major road through Congo, running from Lubumbashi to Kinshasa, the capital. It's a vital route for the economy. 2,300 kilometers of impassable tracks in the rainy season. Willie drives for an NGO, and he's on his way to pick up aid workers in Kamina, on the only road in town. It hasn't been repaired for over 2 decades, and every year it gets worse.
Kufuatana na hii barabara ya minaona atafadhali motogari yenye iko na traction. Sasa kama ukienda na fuso iko na tatizo mingi juu ya mashimu, buterezi.
Willie is used to it, but overloaded small trucks like this one are a common sight. He dreads being stuck behind them.
Ifo kusimama, ndio kadri ya solidarite ya bashofere wenye banapita munjia ya pori, njia mubaya kwa juu ile suna musaidia, unaweza kufika mbele na unapata pane swate ya karibira, swate crevezo ya pine, unamudepane mukadre ya lwa. Ndio kazi ya bashofere ya voyage.
On the railway tracks, the Hirondelle is halfway to Lebo when Mr. Molongo has to brake suddenly.
Il y a un drapeau rouge. Il y a un drapeau rouge.
A man and his family are on the tracks. By waving a red scarf, he's been able to stop the train at this tiny village in the middle of the brush. He says there's good reason for doing so. While the woman climbs on board, the other villagers make the most of the situation. But Mr. Molongo doesn't want to take everyone and decides to start up again. It's often like this. Hard work for little pay. The equivalent of barely $100 a month. Mr. Molongo is not just poorly paid. He is in fact rarely paid.
On est payé, mais c'est pas bien. Nous avons un retard de 80 mois, voire plus. Nous avons beaucoup de difficultés. Nous allons au champ très souvent pour trouver à manger. Et puisqu'on ne sait plus où aller, s'il y avait quelque chose, ou bien quelque part où on peut aller chercher une possibilité, on allait abandonner.
80 months of pay, almost 7 years of work, 7 years of back pay that Mr. Molongo will never receive. To survive, he depends on tips from the passengers, and with his wife, he cultivates a small plot of land. Right now, though, his main concern is the state of the tracks. He has to reduce speed to less than 10 kilometers an hour. At this point, the rails are not really aligned anymore.
J'ai du serpentage, vous voyez déjà là-dedans. Je ralentis pour réduire la vitesse, comme ça, bien traverser.
Et ça fait comme un serpent, c'est ça le serpentage.
And it's like that for several miles.
Quand il fait chaud, le rail se dilate. Se dilatant, alors il se déplace. D'autant plus qu'il n'y a pas assez de ballast. C'est dangereux. Très dangereux quand le serpentage est accentué. Il y a risque de déraillement.
Accidents are frequent. Alongside the track are the remains of a train that didn't slow down. It derailed and killed 76 people.
Le wagon a déraillé. Oui. Il y a les gens qui ont superposé les gens, les marchandises sur le wagon. Oui. C'est à cause de ça, et le wagon était surchargé, qu'il a déraillé. Il y a cela 6 mois. Et ça arrive souvent à cause de l'état de la voie. Et la voie n'est pas du tout bonne. Et ça fait peur, ça fait peur.
On board the Hirondelle, the danger has now passed. The rails are straight again. But just when everything seems to be more or less normal, Mr. Molongo has to deal with another problem. He can feel that the train is losing speed. Eventually, it comes to a complete stop. The fact that it does so in the middle of a village is no coincidence. Mr. Molongo believes it was sabotage, and he suspects it's the vendors who are responsible. In Congo, they're known as traffickers.
Les trafiquants qui sont là, ils vous coupent ça. Hein? Oui. Donc, entre les deux boyaux là, quand tu le coupes, le train s'arrête. Il y a freinage, puisqu'il n'y a pas vide. Alors, il faut quelqu'un pour accoupler de sorte que les vides puissent continuer jusqu'au début et puis nous allons partir.
Those who stop the train know what they're doing, and they also know that the repair is quite simple. Other breakdowns are more complicated, and trains are usually repaired in a station. Bayunge is in charge of maintenance, but he has only a few spare parts for repairs.
Bon, ça c'est notre armoire d'outillage. Hein? Nous avons des clés, nous avons des appareils de mesure, hein? Nous avons quelques pièces de rechange, comme ça. C'est un alternateur. Nous avons les phares pour l'éclairage. Pour l'éclairage et allumer quand on va faire des véhicules, c'est pour allumer la nuit.
The other parts have to come from South Africa and can take up to 3 months to arrive, during which time the train doesn't run.
Pour éviter les pires, on fait remorquer la machine jusqu'au grand dépôt IG. C'est comme si quelqu'un l'amène à l'hôpital.
The Hirondel's forced stop is a boon to many. The local salesmen have no other means of making any money. In these remote villages, people survive on the equivalent of $1 a day. It's the passengers, though, who reap the biggest profit. They survive off the small trade the train provides, and every time it stops, they have the chance to do some business. Victor's been riding the Hirondelle for 10 years. On this trip, he's selling soldering irons. The next time, he'll sell something else. Either way, the train provides him with a living.
En tout cas, vraiment, toza lokola tozui malade. Omoni, eza nde boulot na biso. Eza lokola ba creuser. Il fallait ba kota na libulu po ba bimisa matière. Na biso pe ba trafiquant, mosala na biso kaka nde oyo trende suka mosala na biso. Tozo lo isabana, bana bazotanga kaka na mouvement ya train na biso.
Finally, 20 minutes later, the train has been fixed. Victor's happy at the business he's been able to conduct, having managed to sell his entire stock of soldering irons. He's keen to get back in the compartment where his wife, Gabriella, is waiting. Since they were married, she has never left his side.
C'est ma femme. C'est ma femme. Je suis Congolais bien formé. Je suis Congolais bien formé.
In this isolated village, Victor believes the traveling salesmen provide a vital social link.
Il y a des villageois qui souffrent beaucoup pour trouver les habits, pour trouver du sel, pour trouver de l'huile. Bon, nous les trafiquants, nous faisons comme l'aide de... C'est pour manger. Oui, c'est pour manger. Ça.
Once again, the train begins to slow down. Another train is heading in their direction.
Il y a un croisement. Il y a une machine qui est déjà là, en train de venir. De voir, il y a une deuxième voie là-bas. Dans l'herbe, vous voyez. La voie est couverte d'herbe.
It's a delicate maneuver, because the train in front will have to use the abandoned track. The wheels might slide on the grass and derail the train. A mechanic is spreading sand on the rails to help it along. The danger is over. Both trains resume their journeys. The oncoming train is transporting cargo and has no passengers apart from a few clandestine travelers. The Hirondelle, too, continues along its way. There's just another 900 kilometers to get to Lebo, the final destination. By traveling day and night and allowing for stops and repairs, it should arrive by the morning of the 8th day.